Hey, Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No. Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
And not critics. I'm critical over that thing. What if I am critical? Because then I'm a critic, and then I can't be us. I could throw everything upside down just by saying that.
Yeah. Are you going to be critical today, Corey?
No, I'm far too tired to be critical.
What about you, Dan? Are you going to be critical?
No.
Nope.
No.
Laura's always critical. So,
Anyway.
how's the Jaywalkers hangover, buddy?
Yeah. Yes.
James had baseball games all weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lame.
So he met all his teammates down at Jaywalkers yesterday, and you could tell they were dragging ass all day yesterday in their game. It's
I
like,
saw him actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was walking with some friends. So.
So Danny, what movie are we doing this week?
Jurassic Park 1. Finding out its own.
No!
No, it's not. It's Final Fantasy. No,
Yes.
wait. My bad.
Is that a movie?
That actually is a
Spirits
movie
Within.
too.
I thought
Yeah.
there
It
was.
is. No, sorry, my bad. So many things this week.
But
Like I said, the
not
Jaywalkers
movie.
hangover.
Yeah, it's been a long week. It's been a long week.
So
Final
are we-
Destination. It is. There we go.
Bloodlines.
Yeah, the new one that's in theaters right now, right?
Yeah, we're topical.
It's still technically in theaters,
Yep.
It is. Yeah.
which Thunderbolts isn't, which is like shocking.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts is like they pulled that early. I'm just like,
Because
that was
apparently it
good.
didn't generate enough money. That's what they say.
Well, it's gonna be out next month already on video, so
Yeah.
That's
Bloodlines is
ridiculous.
supposed to be streaming as of the 14th.
Really?
probably. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was listening to some stuff about Disney's business model, and they've just really ate all their revenue by putting everything into Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like they've just like really destroyed their own business model, which is hilarious. No.
And it's funny because Disney Plus is not as popular as it used to be either.
Well, when it first came out, it had like all these big Disney Plus shows, right? And then they pumped out too much.
Yeah.
And now that they've pumped out too much, it's just kind of like, yeah, I guess another streaming service now, right?
Well, I think like even Feige said it's gonna be like 1 to 2 movies, 1 to 2 TV shows per year. Period.
I think that's still too much.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Final Destination Bloodlines, Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
I'm here for moral support for you guys.
I bet you this was Laura's cup of tea, though.
Oh, it 100% was.
So much fun.
It was. And, you know, both Mark and I were leery about going to the theater to see it, but we're happy we did.
Why were you leery about going to the theater?
Because it's another Final Destination. It's like watching all the Screams.
I like
I was
the
gonna
Scream
say Saw.
The
movies.
Scream movies were good. Or Saw, yeah.
Saw.
I like the Saw movies.
This was a...
Now, how many Saw movies did you like?
8 out of 10.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
didn't like two,
Well,
you didn't like?
Yeah.
Which two?
Final chapter and 2.
Okay.
Well, then. You know, without two, there wouldn't have been the rest of them.
Yeah, but 2 is like maybe it was 3. 1 of 2 is like all gore and no story, and that's the thing with me is I want story. And contrary, everyone thinks Saw is just gore. There was a damn good story. There is a damn good story in that franchise. So
And I don't know, I think with this one too is when you go into it and you watch all the Final Destinations and then you get the final chapter, it's like, why are they making another one? But I guess in a way it's restarting.
Yes, that doesn't... I was kind of confused about that too. Like, why was there a final chapter, Final Destination, if then we just went and had
Well,
another?
because-
was there a final chapter?
So it's not actually the final chapter, it's
Yes.
the Final Destination.
Yeah.
And it just ties in their original characters.
Yeah, but look at
and
Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious,
Okay.
and then part 4 was Fast and Furious.
We're not going to discuss that one because that one's just like out
They-
there now.
They build the Final Destination as the last one, though.
They
Yeah.
did.
This is the final time.
But you know, Mark and I talked about that one too. The Final Destination, literally, when you watch it, it ties all their original characters into the whole franchise. Because it ends with the airplane exploding.
I think, yeah, no, it was really good. But I think this one was more made for like a love note for Tony Todd. So because they knew
Probably.
he was dying. So.
Yeah.
They this one is kind of ties to all of them too.
It does, yeah. Like more behind the scenes than that one. The other one was more paint by number. This is how it's all connected. This one is more kind of not vague, but broader on how it all connected type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love how the old lady mouths off death in this one.
I see you.
fucking kids and pennies. That's all I have to say. So
Mark and I said the same thing. When we saw the penny come out of the book, we're like, fucking penny!
Well, and to like come full circle with the penny from like at the beginning and then to the end, the penny's the one that gets everybody in the end.
So
Yeah.
funny. Have you watched all the other Final Destinations, Jeff?
I think I've seen 1, I've seen 2,
Okay.
I've probably seen 3.
Number 1, the train track.
Yeah.
Same train track.
Is that really?
Yes.
Huh. It's been 20 some years since I've seen Final Destination.
and that's when Stifler gets decapitated.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I
He's
forgot
right.
Stifler was in Final Destination.
Yeah, he's in the first one.
It's been
That was
a hot,
actually before American Pie too.
Yep.
it's been a hot minute since I've seen the first one.
Yeah,
It was the same summer, wasn't it?
probably.
Let's
So I
see.
think
Yeah.
they're both 99.
I have the box set on Blu-ray of the Final Destination, so I a month or two ago marathoned them. So
Oh, nice.
Does that make this movie better?
it helps. But again, but it's more like what she said, knowing how the end connects the previous
Mm-hmm.
type thing. This one, like this movie we're talking about today, really, really well done. Honestly, it is my second favorite in the franchise. So
Do you echo those sentiments, Laura?
It's not my second favorite, but it's close.
What, maybe third, fourth?
Fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my fourth favorite on this.
Isn't there
This
only
one.
like 5 of these
this
movies?
is 6.
This is number
Oh, this
6.
is 6.
Yeah.
So that's not even like the top end of it then.
Yeah, that's not
It's-
much of an echoed sentiment, actually.
Okay, but it ties. it ties with 3. It was the third ranking for me because so number 1 and number 5 are my favorites, just the way that they all tie in together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
What? Oh, fuck off!
Is there a bug?
No,
a
there's
wasp.
more in it.
It's a wasp.
Yeah, you'll live.
No, I won't.
You're allergic to a wasp?
Yes.
Danny? Since you haven't seen the movie, you're in charge of killing the wasp.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's right there. There he is. Come back. No,
I was
he's
gonna
gone.
die. This is my final destination.
That
I
would
see
be
you.
ironic.
Do you have an EpiPen?
On me, no.
Well-
why don't you have an EpiPen?
Because I hate carrying them. Ah! What the fuck just dripped on me?
What?
The wasp is after
The
you.
wasp shat on you because he heard you talking smack.
Like, I'm going to show her.
What the fuck just dripped
Well,
on
he
me?
was above you, so he might have. You might have got wasp
Shit on
poo
my-
on you. Yeah.
After
This
watching
is
No...
gonna be your final destination.
Yeah, I think so. He couldn't kill me. I just need a badminton racket. Do you have a badminton racket?
Why would he have a badminton racket?
Haven't you ever played birdie with a wasp before?
But,
Doesn't answer the question.
like...
Also reminds me of The Office when the guy's got all those tools out
Right.
ready to hit the wasp, and they're like, "No, not that one." And then he hits it with the bat. Yeah,
He gets a wasp with the...
That's why.
that was awesome.
You need a badminton racket just so that you can, have the right tools.
I need an electrified racket.
Oh, yes.
Those are great.
The zap that it does when you hit
Yeah.
it with the electrified racket, it's satisfying.
Have
almost
you
like a
ever
snap,
touched one
but-
of those to yourself?
Like, it's no worse than electric fence.
I lived a sheltered childhood, apparently, so.
You've never peed on an electric fence before?
It's not the greatest thing in the
Nope.
world. It's not the greatest thing in
Of
the
course
world.
you have.
Curiosity, you know.
Curiosity. You gotta know,
It
right?
doesn't always kill the cat.
Sometimes it just gives them like trauma.
Takes away one of those lives. That's about it. Seriously, why are you hovering above
Ooh,
me?
I think there's 2 of them.
Oh,
Now it's a conspiracy. It's a wasp conspiracy. Conspiracy.
okay. I'm
Talk
gonna
like
turn
Mike
on your
Tyson.
AC and freeze them.
No?
Yes.
I wonder if there's a
I-
picture of you in that old lady's book in the Final Destination, and it's just like a wasp flying around.
There could be.
I bet you guys, after doing the marathon of the movies, that book was just super cool because there's
It
a whole
was.
bunch of references, right?
Mm-hmm.
That book is.
Well, those articles that everything that's spun off of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's still to this day, 20 years later, I am still afraid of log trucks.
I love at the end how a log gets
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
Though it didn't make any sense because the train had stopped, and then the logs came out of nowhere. So I'm just kind of like,
That was a movie's got a movie moment,
That's right,
but
that was a very movie.
Yeah.
I don't like log trucks either.
I was sure
I
when
think-
she was following behind the log truck
Mhm.
that's when it was going to get her.
yeah. I think that we need to, at the end, before we do our what genre and all that fun stuff, I think we need to do similar to Zombieland. Instead of Zombie Kill of the Week, we need to do Final Destination Kill of the franchise.
There were a lot of good kills.
I know. So,
Uh,
anyway, to think about later. so.
I think I got my pick.
All right.
I definitely. There's one that stands out as the best one.
I've got one. So,
It's.
anyway,
I can't do the franchise though.
well, from what you've seen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I could do from this movie. Which one for sure?
Oh, this one has some really good ones.
I'm presuming you're talking from this movie, not the franchise.
no, I said franchise.
Did you say
I
franchise?
did say franchise.
Well, I'm gonna stick to this movie because none of them are fresh enough in my memory.
Well, then we will, since we're all going to do it, we'll do this movie, and then I'm going to bring up franchise. So,
Okay.
and Laura might have one too then. So,
Probably.
Danny, what was your favorite kill from this movie?
So I watched the trailer today.
You know what? You at least that's better than nothing.
I watched trailers today for gaming, so
He said he was here for moral support.
You just go.
I
go.
watched the trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. That was kind of dope. That was pretty cool.
Wait,
We got
they're on-
zombies in that one more.
he said
They're on
duty.
Black Ops number 7,
Yes, they like to just keep
Yes,
going.
I'm watching for them.
and I.
Don't
That's a
worry,
lot of
keep
Black
going
Ops.
too. And then the Grounded 2 is coming out.
Then the Wedge?
Grounded 2, if you played it, no, okay.
Never.
I've heard of Uncharted, but not of Grounded.
It's Grounded 2. It's like a little. They shrink kids and they're like running around like in the grass in the backyard
Oh.
fighting bugs. So it's
That's
actually
not
pretty
at all a rip-off of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, right?
Like everything's a ripoff of something nowadays.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So after watching Novocaine, I'm just like, we just gotta keep random EpiPens around. So I don't know why, as a person who should have an EpiPen, why you don't have it. Like,
Because
what if?
they're annoying to carry.
How could they? They're like no different than carrying a pen or a phone in your pocket.
Except for when you accidentally stab yourself with them.
I don't
Oh
think that.
shit, have you done that?
Yes.
Damn.
How?
You've seen my purse, right?
Yeah, but they're like impossible to stab by accident.
Not when you accidentally knock the freaking cap off and then.
Well, the cap is like snapped on or something. You have to like snap the cap to pull it off.
Yeah, I got it. Mine ended up broken.
Like,
So speaking of Final Destination, that's a freaking thing after thing after thing after thing for that to happen, but it happened.
Remember the conversation about who we thought would die first? It is 100% me.
I'm starting to wonder now.
I just don't understand how you would.
Okay, I know it was me because the next day I cut myself.
Okay, it's totally yeah.
While I was working the wall, I was like, where the
I think
fuck
we
did
should
cut
just give the
myself?
middle finger to everybody and all die the same day.
That's fair.
It's
I'm
funny.
taking you all with me.
It's funny you guys bring up the dying thing because we had a summer student come to one of my dig sites on Monday,
So far, this is not sounding like it's going to be a good story.
and I'm sitting, I'm at the bottom of my hole. We dig a hole.
Did they try to bury you?
Yes, they were throwing rocks at me,
What?
and the summer student's just like, "What are you doing down there?" that's dangerous, as they're like shoveling gravel towards me. I'm just like, this is the 6th least dangerous thing I've done today. There's at least 5 or 6 other things I've done that is much more dangerous than people slowly shoveling gravel towards me. Jesus, like, you can't be down there. It's so dangerous.
But think, the more pile goes, you can stand on top of the gravel and you don't even have to climb out of the thing.
Like,
So,
what if they hit you in the eye?
it's time to go then.
Wow.
Good thing I'm wearing my Omni goggles.
The glasses, they do nothing.
That's one of my favorite skits from the show. Or
I'm
scenes, I
assuming
guess.
he's with you for training.
She was
Oh, she. Okay.
she was doing hydrants and stuff like that, and then they just came by because she's never seen a dig site before,
Aw.
and yeah, was very concerned about my health as people were slowly shoveling gravel down. You need to get out of that hole, Jeff.
She was young, wasn't she?
No,
No?
well, youngish, like younger than us, but we're old.
I was gonna say we're middle aged, so.
Yeah, she's like in her 30s, married.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Jeff, were you okay? Did you get anything in your eye?
You know what? There was this tiny speck of dust, and I had to blink twice to get it out.
Oh my god.
You didn't have to flush. You're fine.
Speaking of flushing, there was too much flushing going on in that sewer I was repairing. Let me tell you.
Oh.
I'm glad she wasn't there when that happened. So the fucking
And all of a sudden, I'm just done.
the Space Needle, wherever the fuck it is in the beginning of this movie.
Well, it was a fictional building, but yeah, so.
Sky
Yes.
Needle.
Yeah.
That, like, all of a sudden my TikTok blew up with like, come visit this tower, or like, come visit the Calgary Tower, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
nope.
And you know, the sad part is Mark and I were talking about it, minus the glass elevator. We're like, huh, she's like the Calgary Tower.
Except for Calgary Tower's only got the observation deck that's see-through glass. The rest is not.
The
so.
restaurant itself is not.
Yeah.
Why would anybody stay dancing on that dance floor when it starts cracking?
Right?
I didn't see that.
Freaking goddamn hell.
Somebody would notice that.
Apparently they did. They were drunk.
Fuck. And the poor elevator boy that dies. Like, no, it's too full.
Everybody, take the stairs to the elevator. I mean, that's just asking for.
Well,
In case of emergency, do not take the elevator. Just kidding.
well, it's not his fault that the stairs collapsed, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That was so much fun. That scene, like that opening scene. So
it was almost too much going on.
it was literally.
I was just like, is this ever going to end?
But you know, throughout the whole opening scene, I'm like, this is an interesting way to start the movie.
It was a damn good way to start it.
Everybody dies.
And I guess it's kind of jumping the gun, but did we all predict the twist at the end with the kid? Not
Which-
the black kid.
Oh, with JB, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
I did.
I did not at first. And then, as he was talking, like,
Dave and I went to it together, and we were literally, it's like, watch, that's gonna be this, and it was, and then watch, it's gonna be this, and it wasn't.
Even I told Mark, they're bringing back Candyman.
Oh.
man, he looks so rough in this movie.
I had PTSD of Sid Haig from 3 from Hell, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
These guys that gave up so much for their craft. They love scaring you, but they were giant teddy bears.
Are you alright?
No, Corey Story's attacking me.
The wasp is dropping stuff on you from afar.
He is the motherfucker.
Literally watching something on the trailer.
It's very
She's fucking
Final Destination is right here right now.
I'm leaving. Fuck this shit.
So everybody, this is probably the last episode of Laura's. Last
At least
episode of her life.
until
Oh,
winter.
look at that penny rolling on the floor. Where's that going?
I'm walking home. I'm not driving.
Yeah, do not
Fuck it.
start the
You
car.
guys, I'm going home. But yeah, no. What's
Gotta
called
watch the
seeing
trailer.
him like that. It was hard. And again, like I had brought this up to you. I had said how the thing he said at the end, and you're like, well, he pretty much says the exact same thing every movie, and I'm like, you're right, he does, but this one just hit that much harder. So
Yeah, it was more emotional
Yeah.
this time, right? It wasn't. I heard that they were supposed to kill him, but they just didn't because
but look at him.
yeah. And he
They
said
did.
he said cancer got him, right? So it's just
And
like
now that he had the same disease as his good friend.
mhm.
So
Mm-hmm. No, and it's crazy, like how these guys, like I said, I'm talking about these people who are masters of their craft. They play till the end.
Mhm.
Like Sid Haig had a lustrous career dating back to the 70s. A lot of people don't realize some of the stuff he was in, and then you watch Three from Hell, and you're like, oh my god, he looks so bad, and it's so sad to see. And they kill him off camera in that movie because they know they're never going to be able to use him again. And then Tony Todd, fuck, like it was heartbreaking from a guy who watched Candyman when it came out, watched so many other movies where he's done cameos in it and everything like that, like Wishmaster and Hatchet and all these movies. And so I feel I followed this guy's career, and then to see that again, it's just it breaks my heart. So
Well, Laura, I can't remember his roles in. Was he in all the other Final Destinations?
yes,
Yeah.
Every single one of them?
nope, one of them he wasn't, but he,
his voice was.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
but his voice was. So
I wonder if it was planned from the beginning.
Because he's
for him to get cancer.
The producers are really playing. Why do you think they waited?
It's a long
the new
con,
one.
yeah.
Oh my God! Finally got cancer. Yes.
no, it was because so they had him in the first one, and his character, the way that he played that character, was very well liked by the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So then they just kept bringing him back, and I believe it was the fourth one. I think it was the fourth one he wasn't in.
That was the 3D one. Nobody liked it anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that was 3 was the 3D one.
Actually, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
That-
Yeah,
that
because
makes
4
sense.
was the final, wasn't it? And 5
No.
was.
4 might have been the 3D one, but I just thought I always associated 3 being the one. Too bad we don't have somebody already
Well,
on
'cause
their
3
phone that can Google this.
3 was the.
I'm
On the
sorry,
cover of
watching the
3 was the
trailer.
roller coaster. And so, if the cover of 3 was the roller coaster, was that?
That was the 3D one.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was 3, so.
Oh no, I got that movie. I bought it here.
Yeah.
It was 3.
Yeah.
Final Destination 5
Oh really?
was American 3D supernatural horror film.
Well, there was 3.
Oh, number 5.
And 4
That was
was
the
the
third.
final destination, wasn't it?
Yes.
So 5
The
came
roller
out
coaster was pretty
after.
3. 3 was 3D too, but I don't think it was 3D in the theaters. It was just 3D when you bought it and had the 3D
There we
glasses.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas 5 was 3D in the theaters.
Yeah, but it was either number 3 or number 4 that Tony Todd was just they only had him on recording.
I feel like the Final Destination they would have him.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
I don't know.
I don't think I realized he was in all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. Well, I knew I remembered him from the movies, but I couldn't remember if it was the first one or the second one. I didn't realize it was both of them.
Yeah. It's just it.
Yeah.
Now I want to know which one he didn't appear in for sure.
Well, if he did a voice, they might have him billed as all of them, right?
Yeah. There was a reason too, and I can't remember what it was.
You were right. It was number 4 that he wasn't in.
Was
I
not
was
it?
right.
Or sorry, yeah, he was not in Final Destination 4 at all. No voiceover either. Number 3, there was a voiceover for him.
Really?
Oh.
But he was in 5.
He was in number 5.
He wasn't in 4 at all.
No.
Huh.
I kind of want to see number 5, knowing that's a roller coaster one.
No, 3 is a roller coaster.
Yeah, 3.
Hey, what's 5?
I bet you Corey has it back there.
I don't think I do anymore because I had all 5 on DVD. But
3 is really good.
3 was fun.
The old,
was fun.
the old lady with the fucking House of Doom, like doesn't that house look more dangerous than anything?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm staying. There's like this crazy lady, Danny, who's got like this fucking house with all these spikes.
You would really think that movie, or that house, she would have been dead. Long
Yeah,
ago.
But she didn't step outside, so.
A little ray of sun. That's all he needed. But she could see him. So, literally, to answer your question on how the movies were named, you literally had Final Destination 2, Final Destination 3. Where is Final Destination 4, The Final Destination, and now Bloodlines. There was no imagination.
Yeah.
Just like the Fast and Furious ones.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, they at least had Tokyo Drift.
That's
Yeah,
true.
At least there wasn't a 2 Final 2 Destination, right?
Yet.
Final Destination Roller Coaster Drift.
I'd watch that.
Shit out of that.
Favorite roller coaster.
That house, though, it gave me a lot of Laurie Strode vibes from Halloween 2018.
Oh crap, Mark and I were thinking Walking Dead.
I've never seen Walking Dead, but you remember how Laurie Strode became recluse and everything after Michael got arrested and everything, and so it reminded me a lot of that. So
That house was cool.
yeah.
So minus the trap door, pretty much the same thing.
Oh, damn.
They went to I don't know why they went there at the end of the movie. It's just like, you're going to die getting to the fucking door. Like, just look at the outside of this place. You're going to die going into the door.
Because that was the most secure place. So you go back there and
But-
hopefully get her inside, but they screwed up.
But all those spiky logs all over the place. And that old lady's a bit of a bitch if you guys think about it.
Iris was.
She let herself die just knowing that all her relatives are going to fucking die.
Yes, but by letting herself, she was gonna die anyway. She only had like a couple months left.
Yeah, I guess.
So the whole premonition thing with her granddaughter was a precursor to what was gonna happen anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
She was
the
just
granddaughter was having premonitions of the past, though.
Yes, because Grandma should have died. The granddaughter should never existed.
But how's that of the future if it's of the past?
Because Grandma was alive and she should have died when the tower fell over.
But that was in the past.
Yes!
So, the premonitions of the future.
She fucked over death. Death was coming for the family.
My brain hurts.
Okay, they even say fuck with death and he gets meaner.
I get that. I guess you said the future, even though it's literally of the past.
I know, all I said was she was having premonitions.
Of the future.
Okay, well, whatever. It's Sunday and it's Jaywalkers. Fuck off.
Oh!
I love the hospital scene with like the MRI and everything.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Where it goes through the shirt,
Yeah.
like the one Final
The
Destination
piercings?
thing. Oh, that was so gruesome.
Yeah.
That guy was a little cocky little asshole, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
he kind of deserved it.
That was a precursor to the whole thing, too, with the tattoo shop.
Mm.
And it's funny because like the teaser trailer number 2 had the tattoo shop scene leading up to before he died type thing, and they made it look like he died other ways. But then in the end,
He dies.
that whole scene he doesn't die at all anyway. So
Yep.
I love how it's like, oh, you didn't die. Because he's not your real father.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding
Then
me?
who's my daddy?
Like, unknown childhood trauma because you didn't die. And the fucking...
And then he dies anyway. So.
Yeah, he dies anyway.
Which actually didn't make much sense to me, but that's okay.
Actually, it does. Because after they go see JB, and he says the only way that you can stop the chain of events is if one of you dies and is brought back. So he decides that he's going to kill his brother
Yeah.
and bring him back.
Uh-huh.
So Death needed to kill him.
Death had to kill him so that he wasn't screwing with this design.
Okay.
So that makes sense like
Yeah.
that, right? Death is like making sure he dies, right?
He wanted that kid dead, okay? And not coming back at all. Dead.
I like
Dead.
the garbage truck scene there.
I thought that was the funniest.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, oh, this could happen, that could happen, and you could end up in the garbage.
Oh,
saying,
that's stupid. And then it fucking happens.
She's like, ah!
Well, that kid's fall, yeah. All I know is he's lucky that he died with the MRI machine because I wouldn't want to know what he gets from that garbage truck.
I do have to admit, I missed how the mum died. Something happened when I was watching it, and I missed her specific death.
Like, Pole falls and, like, skewers her head.
Really?
Yes.
I should have known that's how it went.
Yeah, that one was pretty gory.
You know.
After he tried making her a crispy critter. It's pretty awesome.
Now I want to watch the series all over again.
I asked the wife if she'd go out to the theater with me to watch this, and she's just like, "Which movie are you guys doing? I want to go. Yeah, I'll go to the theater. Like, it just depends which movie. Final Destination. She's like, that is literally the only movie in right now that I will not go watch because those scenes are just they make me cringe. Right? They
Well,
kind of like.
I think people in her profession don't like, because I knew someone who was
Are you kidding me? She doesn't fucking gore does not bother.
no
her at
no
all.
but I'm saying like I knew somebody who was security kind of, not EMT but whatever, at this hospital, and they saw a movie, and sometimes you see all that stuff and you're like, that's not how it works. And sometimes it can trigger PTSD, but otherwise, like, maybe it's one of those things where she just doesn't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. So
She's not a horror movie kind of gal. Not that this is a horror movie, but
It's more a horror movie than Jurassic World is. Or Park.
Park.
Or he put Jurassic World in the horror section. That's what I moved
yeah,
on.
see that. You,
Okay.
Come on.
I put Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in horror.
Was that the one with the clone?
That's different. How?
Yes.
How is Kingdom a horror?
It's much more of a horror than World. Yeah, okay, well, I'll give you that one, guys. I'll give you that one.
The only one I'm on your side for is the first one now. So, but
Did you watch the trailer for this last one?
I haven't seen this one, regardless of seeing the trailer or not.
It
I
does
won't make an
look like it's
opinion
gonna be a horror
until
movie.
I've seen it. So,
Not going to be a horror movie.
I'm not. We can all decide that.
now a good horror movie, the lead actress generally flashes her chest. So please be a horror movie.
That's your criteria for a good horror movie?
No, but
Though when you think about it, 90% of all horror movies does have
Yeah.
at least some frontal nudity.
Huh. Well, since this movie didn't have any, does that make it?
I said 90%, not all.
So that's only like 10% that doesn't.
Uh-huh. The
I
ones that
had-
are generally made for teens don't have any nudity.
I asked somebody, because I was bringing you up with your stuff and everything, and I said, what is your criteria for a horror movie? And because I said mine is supernatural, and so they're like, innocent people dying in gruesome ways. I'm like, interesting.
that would mean John Wick's a horror movie.
Oh,
I guess
for
they're not
Christ's
innocent.
sake.
I would say they're not.
They're not innocent. Yeah,
Oh,
you're
John
right.
Wick's a horror movie. I've seen them all.
Yeah, they're not innocent.
I feel worse.
Like
for
he's
the
killed
puppies.
everybody. There's
Although the dog dies.
I feel
Yeah,
exactly.
the dog dies. He gets his revenge, and he goes on a murderous rampage.
Yeah, generally
That
speaking,
is
revenge flicks,
fucking
there's
awesome.
no innocence. So
See, in my mind, because he was literally revenging the dog, it was justifiable kills.
Yeah.
Not everybody he killed had anything to do with that dog, though. Like,
They
he
were
killed
part
a lot of people.
They were
I
part
mean,
around that?
6 degrees of separation.
So, yeah,
And
we'll
the dog in
discuss
the
this
car.
trailer after.
Oh, you watched the trailer?
Uh-huh.
Good to see
Oh,
we're keeping her attention.
She doesn't want to concede that I'm correct.
Oh, you were totally wrong.
Wow.
Okay.
Back to Final Destination.
Did you guys think that the vending machine was going to kill that guy? I was like very confident that the
So-
vending machine was going to kill, which it did.
In the,
In
yeah,
The
the
spring?
end,
Yeah.
so we're sitting there in the theater, and all Mark hears from me is death by candy.
More people die from vending machines every year than sharks. The bigger killer than sharks.
Cows are bigger killers than sharks.
Yep. I'm actually surprised I've never met somebody
There
that's
are
died
more
from
than
cows.
just one trailer of that.
Lane Frost died by cow.
Oh, that did
Lane
dinosaur
Frost
ones.
died by cow.
Yeah, well, that's a bull, not a cow.
They're all connected.
That's like saying that I got trampled by a girl when it was a guy.
Wait, what now?
Corey said that Lane Frost died from a cow. And I said, no, Lane Frost died from a bull.
Same difference.
Totally wrong.
That would be like, you know, if Danny crushed me, I'd be like, yeah, some girl crushed me.
So you're saying a filly and a horse are two different things?
Well, no, because then you have a filly and you have a stud.
Yeah.
But a cow is literally a term for a cow. That's like
What?
no, a cow is a cow.
Moo.
Like a bovine. Bulls are bulls. They're separate.
That's bull.
A bull has balls.
And a cow is
Unless you're Barnyard, the cartoon, where the lead male cow had an udder.
Okay, yeah.
Let's not get into Barnyard, okay?
Oh, such a
But
bad.
bulls have balls.
Prairie oysters.
I think it's time we take a quick minute break here and get back with the best deaths of this movie, eh?
I think so.
Okay. And we're back.
Are we?
Yep.
Weird.
Okay. Just because.
Just confirming.
Yeah.
He was looking at
He was looking at it funny. He's right. I was
Well,
like,
it's
are we
the waves are there, but they're red, like pink, and it's kind of weird.
They're pink.
Yeah,
pink
Because
waves?
we took a break.
I guess. Has it done that before?
Did your phone update?
Mm.
Well, let's hope we're recording.
Well, like I said, the waves are there as we're talking, so.
The little bar is moving. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yay! Technical difficulties week number 365,221.
Yep. Woo. So, Danny, what's
So,
your
Jeff.
favorite? What's your favorite death in this movie?
I don't know. I watched the movie.
God damn it!
What was your favorite death from the trailer?
Except for in the trailer, all the deaths were all misleads.
I know.
So,
Ooh. What was the best? Yeah, he doesn't know that, so. What was the best death in the trailer? And we'll tell you whether or not it was bullshit or not.
Well, I heard you guys talk about it. It's like I don't think the needle was that.
no.
No.
Why that would have been?
Oh no, I figured of the backyard
Which, no.
Which part in the backyard?
where the glass fell into the ice.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, kind of.
It was part of it. But,
And then the rake seemed like it was going to be something, and it
Yeah.
really wasn't, so.
but it was actually the lawnmower.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, really? Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go with me for the first favorite death because we're talking about it. My favorite death is the lawnmower death, okay? Which involved the piece of glass and involved the lawn or the rake, okay? So like, she gets the piece of glass in her like ice.
Yep.
It looks like she's gonna like swallow it. She ends up throwing it out right on the grass, and then because in this movie everybody dies chronologically, so like the old lady was the mom, she died, right? She gets like, death just fucking take me, which was a pretty cool scene actually. Like,
You might want to stand back.
yeah. But so then her oldest boy dies, and he's the one that's like, so the glass goes into the yard, he fucking steps on the glass, the rake is underneath the trampoline, so everyone's just like, oh my god, the rake is gonna stab somebody. They move the rake fucking falls onto the lawnmower, and somehow or another it ends up on his head.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's so fucking gruesome. There's blood everywhere. It's awesome.
Because it like turns on the lawnmower and it chews apart his head. Yeah.
Nice.
Laura, which one's your favorite from Bloodlines?
Okay, well then.
And then you can do from the franchise afterwards.
Well, I have two from
Oh?
Bloodlines. So the MRI machine is number one.
That was pretty awesome.
Just the way it starts pulling out all his piercings first. And then,
Yeah.
And then
The nut one was just going like, oh.
Oh, see, I knew that was gonna happen. The minute it started pulling out the face and the nipples, I'm like, his nuts are pierced. And then pants move. And then the way that the wheelchair like skewers him into the MRI, that was pretty awesome. And ironically, the first scene when she's falling and her finger peels.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The finger peel. Oh.
Yeah.
That was oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, all because she gets caught with her brand new engagement ring in between two nails.
Oh nice.
And so she's literally held up like this, holding on to JB, and the skin and the ring all.
Oh, that's dope.
That whole tower scene was pretty cool actually.
Yes.
That's mine.
So
That's my scene.
I
Sorry.
think my favorite part in that whole thing, even before her falling, is the raindrops keep falling on my head as the people are falling.
So Corey,
That's awesome.
I guess I don't need to
No.
ask you.
Yeah, mine was just the entire opening scene.
It's hard to call that a death though.
No.
Because
but
like there was a lot
multiple
going on.
deaths.
There was a lot of death there.
But it was everyone like it's just one scene of manslaughter. So
That was like a 15-minute scene or something.
It
was.
was.
and that was the intro.
And it all starts with a damn penny.
And that fucking kid.
Right?
Well, and then the penny gets him in the end too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with the piano, yep.
So
Actually, you're right. That. The kid with the piano. If we could narrow it down to one thing instead of an entire scene, that.
I'm glad
Fuck
that
that
little
kid.
bastard
Yeah.
got his comeuppance.
Yeah.
It looked like the kid that caused like all the calamity. He looked like he was gonna get away scot-free, and this fucking piano gets like
Falls on him.
It
Yeah.
literally
Bugs Bunny.
does the Bugs Bunny thing just.
Oh yes.
Were you guys trying to figure out, since you guys watch the other movies, who was in the other movies out of that death scene?
No.
Out of the first one, no.
Because I feel like there were people in the other movies whose parents or something were in that scene.
Nope, I don't remember any of them. The only one that I guessed right off the get-go was JB.
You know? I would have never guessed that in a million years. Well, when he mentioned something on screen, you're just like, oh, maybe.
Right. Well, no, it's the fact that all of a sudden you've got all these adults. It's a fancy party. They're drinking, and then there's this one lone kid, and you're like, you tie
Yeah.
into every movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, well, Corey and I would have gotten there.
Yes.
Well, I think Dave and I were talking. We're like, watch that kid be him.
Yeah.
And that happened. We're like,
So what's your best in the franchise then? Danny, you got a best in the franchise?
I like the coaster and I like the derby.
The Derby.
the opening scene in
Yeah.
in 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen 4. What's
Or no, 5.
That was number 5.
That was
Yeah,
number 5.
yeah.
What's the Derby?
The racetrack.
The racetrack.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was
Yeah.
That one was, that one was.
Laura?
You know, as classic as it is, the whole mean girl getting hit with the bus.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
She was the normal one of the bunch, though.
But she was so mean.
Yeah.
Mean girls always get hit with the bus.
Right?
It was just the abruptness of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like,
You leave me alone, you freak.
Corey?
Anyway, there was also the overkill with the teacher.
That's my pick.
What's the overkill?
The teacher in part 1, where first the computer explodes and she gets cut by it.
Oh.
And then she's going to the kitchen and the kitchen catches
Yeah,
on fire.
yeah.
And then she reaches up to grab the tea towel and it's on the knife block and the knife fall on her. And,
I remember that. That was
Yeah.
tough.
that's my scene.
It's
So
the whole Carrie stabbing thing going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, this is enough already.
it was exactly that, overkill. And I loved it. That was a fun series.
I don't think I got one from the franchise. The only one I can think of offhand is the log one, and yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So you have one.
Yeah.
The tanning booth was pretty fun.
Oh, the
Oh,
tanning
yeah.
booth was hilarious.
See, I can't remember half of that. I love the tanning
Yeah,
booth one.
because that was part 2 as well. So
The logging truck's the only one that could stick out in my mind.
Well,
Because I think it traumatized an entire generation.
that is why.
the entire generation will not drive behind log trucks.
That is why 20 years down the line, they're doing the new one.
And they got the ad on the
Yeah.
back of the log
And
truck.
there's a log truck.
Yeah.
I still, seriously, if there's a log truck, I will either try to pass it or stay as far back as I can.
My wife doesn't do horror, and she's watched those movies. Well, the first 2 movies, and she's same thing. She will not go near a log truck. So
Right? And it's not because, it's actually going to happen, but it's that
I would
possibility.
say it doesn't. I wouldn't say it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't. Technology's better today, but drivers are also getting sloppier today.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, drivers are
Nice ring.
stupid.
Nice ring.
Thanks.
I mean, as a guy who is from Humboldt, I know all about sloppy drivers. So,
Whoa!
well, I mean, that was it. He was careless, and he was an idiot, and look what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even playing the race card with that one. I'm just saying in general, he was a careless, stupid driver. So,
In regards to the Humboldt thing, that could have happened to any one of us any day to have make that mistake. Because we've all blown stop signs before,
Yep.
yeah.
thinking everything was clear. So,
It's still bad, stupid driving.
mm-hmm.
So, regardless, and yes, I have most definitely blown through a stop sign, not intentionally, but I have. And luckily, it was in a residential-ish area. So, but yeah,
Thinking about bad, stupid things and being jaywalkers, did you guys hear what happened downtown this weekend?
yeah,
Oh, that
Yeah,
was.
to the bubble tea story I saw.
There was
That
2 incidents down
yeah.
there.
The other one with the broken glass that lacerated the guy. Did he die?
And as far as I know, no.
Okay.
But there was mace involved in that.
Yeah,
one.
bear spray and fucking severed arteries and
Oh,
I did
damn.
not hear about the lacerations. I heard
Yeah.
about the bear spray.
yeah,
What happened?
they're drunk people fighting.
So apparently these guys left the bar, or
It was outside the alley. So yes.
yeah,
Oh,
so
that
they left the
explains a
bar,
lot.
chased him down the alley, freaking stomped him.
Really?
Yeah, ended up with broken glass and lacerations. Cops were called and mace.
Yeah. Freaking, yeah. People are dumb.
Yeah.
What'd they do? Throw him through the bubble tea window?
No, that was a different incident.
That's a different incident.
That was a guy, there was a fight. The guy went to swing, the other guy ducked or something like that, and he broke the glass with his fist and cut himself there too. But
Yeah.
Oh.
So, or threw him into the glass, one of the two. I can't remember. Either way, the glass broke. So
That's a big glass window.
That's
a big
that was
glass window.
crazy. I saw the pictures.
that's why I think through. I heard punch, but I'm like, that's a hell of a swing.
Right.
So
Yeah. So, yeah. No. Apparently, Friday night was interesting downtown.
Wow.
yeah. Luckily, my booth was not vandalized.
My friend was working security that night. When I asked her the next day, I was like, "Oh, hear about the fight?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Aren't you fucking working security? Like, wasn't it your job to make sure this is all fine, dandy?"
I was talking to some EMT today, and I asked if they had to respond to that. They're like, "No, we were elsewhere actually. Like, they just come in. Like, they're from town, but they were obviously there's more than just jaywalkers going on, and so yeah, they said they were at the hospital when it happened. So
Yeah. So apparently, the fight at the tea place. Actually, when I saw you after I closed up here, it happened right around then. There was.
so you did it.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
God
God damn it, Laura.
That's when the cops and the ambulance ended up down there.
Yay, jaywalkers.
Right. Just
Isn't that the Oilers game Friday?
yep.
Yeah, it was the Oilers game. Wow.
Coincidence.
Let's not draw any conclusions from that.
There's a
Did
Panthers
you not lose? Did they lose that game?
Let's not draw any conclusions.
I am 100% convinced that it was carnies that were having a disagreement.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I
Carnies
can
are
believe
fucking
that too.
assholes.
They smell like cabbage.
Small hands.
Oh.
You know, Jeff, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever gotten close enough to one to smell them.
She
Oh,
missed it.
Kier's a carny, you know.
She missed it. Of course. I saw him. I didn't realize he was. Of
Kier.
course he is. Kier.
Booze.
Kier.
Oh, okay. Why does he want to be a carny?
I don't know.
Okay, we're still recording here.
Hey, but it was a general question. Like, who really wants to be a carny?
You'd have to ask him. I don't know. Kier, if you're listening, why did you decide to become a carny?
Let me know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah,
Oh,
anyway.
you know,
I really don't care,
we
actually,
talk
so-
about the movie, then we talk about other
Yeah.
things. You know.
Anyway, where
We're in the video store.
is this ball in the video store?
Danny?
Whore.
Or
It's a
Whore.
whore.
like prostitution?
Yes.
Okay.
Erotica.
WHORE.
It belongs in erotica.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Did we decide that thriller was a genre?
I think we decided it wasn't.
We thought that thriller wasn't one?
Yeah, I think we were going to do it and then we didn't.
Like the song Thriller.
Doom, 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 doom.
So, I don't
Now my
want. I don't want to put this in horror because
Fantasy.
Comedy.
Oh, comedy. How about Western?
because it's not scary. But does a horror movie not need to be scary though?
No, it doesn't.
Horror doesn't need to be scary. That's not a prerequisite.
Well,
Fear is subjective.
How
But
about
I
family?
feel like there wasn't. Huh?
How about a family?
Yeah, this is a family movie.
Did you watch Paranormal Activity?
No.
I did.
Did it scare you?
No.
But it's a horror.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's supposed to scare you though.
yeah, fear is
Suppose.
subjective.
Is this movie supposed to scare you?
It's supposed to be.
It fits
we're
my
supposed to be
category.
afraid,
That's all I
yeah.
have to say. So,
I was too busy laughing, but yeah, you know.
I think
more cheering than anything.
Well, no, yeah.
So,
I would say it's a drama. Okay? There's a lot of
That is the goriest drama I've ever seen.
there
in
are
my
lots of
life.
gory dramas out there. Okay?
Titanic.
So the kid that got his head cut off with the lawnmower is a
It was an
drama.
adult.
That was an adult.
Yeah.
Oh, the adult, alright, the adult.
That was a very dramatic thing.
Like the scene
The family had to come in and be like, "Oh my God, this is a very dramatic moment in our life."
I could see like the national disaster with the train going through all the houses being a drama, but
It's a very dramatic movie, guys.
Damn it, Jeff! I've tried so hard to take your side on things.
Laura, where does it belong in the video store?
Family.
Yeah, put it in family. I dare you. Could you imagine little Bailey like coming up like, "Oh, bloodlines."
so many parents would kill me.
Scout or Laura, why?
How old is Bailey now?
5.
I watched Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 5.
And look how you turned out.
Right?
I think I'm trying to avoid that.
I watched
Children.
the series, but up-to-date series, by the time I was 11.
I think, once again, I think I'm trying to avoid this in my children's life.
So are you trying to say I shouldn't be the scouter for honors? We could have a problem. So it is a horror movie, but I am leaning more towards comedy.
Really?
Ooh.
You know what?
Yeah, but lots of horrors are comedies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
It's not that funny of a movie, but there is some stuff that
When
makes
you
you laugh.
have a dark humor the way that I do, it is
so
hilarious.
it's subjective comedy.
There is stuff that makes you laugh, but it's not.
Like the whole, after years of people coming to me for advice, I'm done with this shit. I'm retiring.
What did we,
That was kind of funny.
what did we put Army of Darkness in?
Horror.
I think. I feel like we put it in drama.
I just know that
I
that's
thought it
a
was-
lot more funny than this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can't remember if we put it that in action or drama because I don't think it ended up in horror for either one of us.
huh.
Because Army of Darkness, would you consider that a horror? I wouldn't.
I thought it was just really funny.
It's even if it's a comedy, it's very gory. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably,
Less gory than this movie.
yeah,
I think where
and more funny.
probably where it falls into comedy for me is it's not so much death as karma. That is all of karma. Everything that happens to him.
There's a lot of over-the-top stuff that happens.
Yes.
That's why it kind of removes it out of horror for me, is because of how over-the-top it is.
So what do you put Hatchet under?
Stupid, but okay.
Stupid's not a
fun.
genre.
Hatchet was fun.
I thought it was stupid.
Either way,
Stupid fun.
Hatchet was comedic, but horror.
Yes.
So,
And like I said, Final Destination.
and Tony Todd was in it.
Written. But Bloodlines is a horror movie, but I'm leaning more towards comedy for me.
This comedy is rated R.
For horrific.
Yeah.
Corey, where would you put it?
Sorry, I just remember seeing that meme again. It's like the actual rating for Twister, rated PG-13 for intense scenes of bad weather. That's literally the description of it.
So see,
So,
Final Destination Bloodlines is rated R for some gory scenes.
yeah, of course. Anyway, I would have to say horror just because it's got horrific scenes and it's got supernatural elements. So,
So you're going to disagree with both me and Laura?
yes. Fuck you all.
It's
Wow.
not a full disagreement, because I did say it's a horror movie.
You can't. You have to pick one or the other. And you said comedy.
For me.
Yes.
Well, we are asking you, so.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's why it's where you will put it.
I'm agreeing with it. Yeah, this coming from the man who put Jurassic World in the horror section.
Where it really shouldn't have
Probably.
been.
Okay, I will admit, World is not a.
No.
World is not a. But the first one, part
No!
is.
And then, okay, I watched the trailer for the new one. It very much has Tomb Raider vibes.
And boobs. Anyway.
I'll carry.
Moving on, Danny, what are your final thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines?
Or the commercial.
Or the commercial.
Yeah, wait. Give us the commercial. 5 out of 5. Like,
Didn't watch a lot of it, did I?
you didn't watch the whole trailer.
You couldn't even be like sat down
I'm
for a
just
minute
here
and a
for
half.
support.
You were there
Moral
watching
support.
the trailer.
I was watching a different trailer. Moral support. I'm just
We really got to work on engaging our crowd better. Laura was watching the trailer for Jurassic World where we're talking about something else.
Hey, but
Danny's
I
watching the
was-
video game trailers.
I was paying attention for the most part until you guys started talking about cows.
Bovines.
Bovines. They're talking cows and bulls. Corey
Yeah.
was getting confused on why was it not
So-
just cow.
Elementary
There's a cow.
education.
Yeah.
Bulls have balls. And cows do not.
Anyway,
You're
Laura,
still
Like-
waiting for his final thoughts?
no,
Well,
no, we're waiting for you.
I was gonna say, like, a manatee's got a cow, right?
Yeah.
So is a manatee cow the same as a cow?
yep.
Laura, final thoughts?
They confused you, didn't they?
Final thoughts is I think Laura needs to go to a mental institute for a while.
You'll be fine.
Been there, did that, got the t-shirt.
Mental health is overrated.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Corey needs bed is what Corey needs.
Huh?
So Corey needs bed is what Corey needs.
okay. I was like, why do you need to bend? Like, what the fuck?
And snap.
Oh shit. So this I really enjoyed it. Like I actually really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it it gets a 5 out of 5 for me. It's fun,
Wow.
right? It was fun. It's not anything new, but it's fun. Yes, it's 20 years late, but seriously, anybody who remembers
And yet it's your fourth favorite.
yes.
And it's a 5 out of 5.
So what is like
The other one's like
favorite one,
6
like a
out of
6
5? Yeah.
Actually, kind of, because the deaths were a little bit more unique in those ones in some
I
ways.
feel like, not to talk a person out of their ratings, because a person's rating is a person's ratings, but I feel like you've already established that this is lower than a 5 out of 5.
No, because the other ones rank the same for me.
5 out of 5 would say that it's the best movie ever made.
No, because the other ones were 5 out of 5 for me too.
But, like, I'm not saying out of the Final Destinations. 5 out of 5 would say, like, it's the best movie of all time.
Fine, it's a 4.99 out of 5. Happy.
Well, if you're gonna do that, why don't it just be 5 out of 10? 10 being the top.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Or you could say 4 out of 6, because that's how you ranked it.
Or we could say fuck off. That would work.
Yeah, 4 out of 6. It's like,
There we go. 4 out of 6. But, you know, like I was saying, it was fun. Yes, it's 20 years too late, but
I could watch a Final Destination movie every year for the rest of my life and
Right?
be happy, so.
because they're fun. And the fact that we got to see Tony Todd at least once more makes everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still afraid of log trucks.
Yeah.
this didn't help that.
Nope.
No, actually, it kind of makes you a little bit more afraid of trains, especially how close to them I live.
I still don't get how the train had stopped, and then the logs just like out of nowhere. Like the
Well,
logs
that's
took-
because it was on the.
Road.
Well, no, it wasn't on the road, but it was on the.
It hops
trailers.
the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was on the trailers behind the train, so
yeah,
they were still coming.
I get that it's the trailer behind. It's just everything had already.
Yeah, but when it collides, the logs go flying. That's how.
I-
Javelin.
it
Just
was
say javelin.
weird timing, in my opinion.
Yes, but it was a really good death for both of
It
them.
was a really good death. Corey, what's your final thoughts on Final Destination?
It was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. I haven't had this much fun in a Final Destination movie since the first one. And yeah, I love malls too. But Between the overtop kills, because that's the thing anymore. They're not going to try and take it seriously. They've given up taking it seriously a long time ago. So just let's make them as over the top as possible and enjoy the ride. And I very much did. Arguably predictable, but the
Very
deaths,
predictable.
yeah. But the deaths were a lot of fun. They were original without being, like I said, unpredictable. They were still predictable, but yeah, it's like I said, my second favorite one in the franchise behind number one, and it's probably a solid 4.95.
Really?
So,
See, for my final thoughts, like, I kind of got bored. Like, by the time they go to that cabin towards the end, it's just kind of like,
I actually did get bored for a bit in that movie too, but
Yeah.
like just 5 minutes worth type thing. So
it's weird you have such a high rating then. If you're actually bored in the movie and you have that high of a rating for it, that seems unusually high.
I see where she was coming from, to the effect that it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed the ride. So
It was a dumb, fun movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like me.
I'm going to acknowledge how dumb and fun and how much
Before you do your final thoughts, can I point out something very morbid with this movie that Corey would have to agree with me on? JB watches his mother literally fried to death and becomes a mortician.
That's why he had death as a child surround him, so he enveloped it.
I don't think I could be a mortician and see somebody come in crispy fried. Like,
That's like the beginning of Blade.
Fried chicken, fuck yeah.
it's like when you go to hell, the only thing you have two things to worry about is original or extra crispy.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'll explain that one after.
I got a bad joke, but I ain't saying it on here. So.
All right.
I loved this movie. I had lots of fun with it. There was so many fun deaths in it. I cannot be near as generous as you guys are with it, just because, like, this story is pretty basic. The interaction between people is pretty basic, like, you know. But so for me, it falls under my Temple of Doom rating. It's just like a dumb fun. I love everything going on about this movie. I acknowledge that it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but you're not going in there expecting Shakespeare, right? Like, you're expecting to go in there to see someone get impaled through their head. Like, that's what you're in there for, right?
That's Shakespeare.
Yeah, impaled through the head.
Yeah. Oh,
And I mean, Vlad the Impaler.
Yep.
Come on, that's horrific.
Yep.
But
Except for it wasn't through the head. Okay.
yes, it
Was
was.
Vlad the Impaler in Shakespeare?
He took the heads and he put them on
Oh,
spikes,
on spikes.
and the more noble they were, the higher on the spikes they were.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, true history for Vlad the Impaler is he would impale them through the asshole, through the mouth, and sit and feast underneath them.
Yeah, see, I heard when he impaled them, he put the blood in a bowl and then he dipped it with bread and ate it, and that's
Yeah, he
how
would
the
do that
Dracula
too.
thing came from. So
He would do that too, but he would impale them through the rectum, up through the mouth, and if it was done just right, it would take them days to die, and he would feast underneath them.
see, I haven't heard that one. So, and I've read a lot of different things. So. Anyway,
Anyway, go back to
Jeff.
your final thoughts.
I'm like confused on what that has to do with anything.
We sidetracked, sorry.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how we got to that sidetrack, and I'm like,
Because he said
Says
Vlad
impale
was
through the head.
Shakespeare.
you
okay,
said impale through the head. We started getting, and then you said Shakespeare, and then yeah.
Vlad the Impaler.
how did Vlad the Impaler? How did you get that from Shakespeare?
This is around the same time.
Because you were talking about
Wasn't
gore.
it?
It's like Shakespeare. And then all of a sudden we started talking
Considering
about...
Bram Stoker's Dracula came out in 1896, and Shakespeare was 1800s, wasn't he? Or was he 1500s? I don't know what he was, but anyway. It made sense at the time.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right, go back to your final thoughts.
Yeah.
I think you did.
I do think it was a bit of a love letter to the rest of them, right? and it does make a. That penny is fucking supernatural in this thing. That penny like bounces from here to there to here. The penny was almost too much for me. Like the penny was like it was so fucking ridiculous, but you know you guys had to kind of enjoy it, right? How did it? I don't understand how it made its way. You know how? So there's a train derailment, Danny,
Yep.
caused by a fucking penny.
I can see it.
Yeah. The penny that caused this fucking sky tower to collapse.
Did you ever watch the Cat Came Back cartoon? The little short.
Came back
The very next
Yes.
day.
So he's on his thing and he's pumping it, and there's like damsels tied to the thing, and he hops them, lands, keeps going, hops them, lands. Then there's a ladybug that goes in the tracks, and he hits it and he crashes, and then the ladybug goes. Oh, I love that cartoon. Anyway.
See what you brought up?
That makes sense to me. Oh.
All right, carry on.
That's it. I think I've done my final thoughts.
Okay. This is because we all sidetracked.
Yeah. I think it's time we all say goodnight. We're all exhausted from the weekend, right, guys?
Yeah, I don't even want to think about what's happening going forward, so I'm ready to just call it.
Okay. Well, Danny, say goodnight.
Good night.
Laura, say goodnight.
Good night.
Corey.
Night.
Good night, fellas.